We cover the news in the video, the podcast that is called Things You Might Not Have Heard. And now we cover the fun stuff in what we call Things You Might Ought to Know. This is the Facts for the Day podcast video for Monday, September the 16th, 2024. I am Jay Cleveland Payne, and for you today, we're going to get you some birthdays. We've got some history lessons, word of the day, a daily affirmation, and a celebration, a reason to get happy for the day. And then start off with birthdays, the funnest part of the fun stuff. And we're starting off with this guy who is lucky to be him, and you would say so too. He is Richard Marx. He is turning 61 years old on the day. And we take the picture of him and his lovely wife, Davy Fuentes, because even he will admit the greatest thing he's done, besides, make music and make us happy with all that stuff, is to marry Daisy Fuentes, the MTV VJ from back in the day. And he will be the first one to say, the best thing he did in his life was marry Daisy. And we're glad for that too. Richard Marx turning 61 years old on the day. He's in on the joke because he basically said the joke. Turning 60 on this day is Molly Shannon, who is going through some things right now, and we're happy that she has made it to here. We're just impressed by her resolve, impressed by her life, impressed by the funny things she's done, and just happy to have her along for what's going on and celebrating birthday with her. Also, an alum from Saturday Night Live, Molly Shannon, was a big deal there back in the day. Back in the day, not quite so long ago, but long ago enough. Amy Poehler, who's 53 years old on the day today. Let's move on. Moving on to our history lesson for the day, starting off in 1630, way back in 1630. Today is a day that Shawmut, the village of Shawmut in Massachusetts, got its new name, its new life. It became Boston, and of course has spawned a love for basketball teams and of course a band, and my boy Rave X. Love you, Rave X. Keep on rocking Boston. Got to get me one of them shirts from your band. We'll check him out later on. In 1955, quite a bit of a jump, but still pretty way back, Play-Doh was introduced. Now, Play-Doh is an interesting thing. Play-Doh was introduced as Play-Doh. It was originally created as a cleanser, because it picked up suds. So you could rub it onto stuff and you could actually get the get soot off, because back in the day, people were still, running chimneys and chimney sweeps, whatever. So you could rub it on walls and it'd take off the soot. Something they figured out was, one, if you make it a little actually add water to it, it's moldable and it's toy. And two, if you press it on things like newspaper print, which is basically ink, it copies things over. Play-Doh got the biggest jump in its marketing from being able to copy things off of paper, and of course, being such a lovable toy. And in 1988, a bit of more of a jump, Bob McFerrin's Don't Worry, Be Happy became the first a cappella record to reach #1 in the U.S. rock music charts. And if you were around in 1988, this song was ubiquitous. It was everywhere. If you want an earworm, this is the earworm of all things. The biggest issue is the song, of course, almost 40 years old. So if you're a millennial, Gen Zer, you've probably not heard it at all, at least not in a while, and don't know what's going on. If you are my age and this was one of the songs that was around while you were just developing, you're trying to be a big hip hop guy, and of course Bob McFerrin's out there. You hear it, you see the video, you see the guys dancing around, you can't get it out of your head. Bob McFerrin is in your head now, and deal with it all day long. I'm talking to you, Merle. It is in your head. Deal with it. Our word for the day, and more on words for the day at our website, thebigwordsproject.com, is proletariat. Proletariat. Don't get that in there. Proletariat. And it is just a member of the working class. The working man, the regular folks, is known as the proletariat. Use in a sentence. The proletarian, or proletarian, I guess, the proletarian, say the right one. The proletarian movement in the early 20th century, aimed to improve the lives of working conditions of the working class. Proletarian, the working class, a member of working class, is a proletarian. It's a word out there that you may not use very often, maybe a real big word to you. So learn this one and have it grow your vocabulary. More big words for you to learn and grow on at the Big Words Project, thebigwordsproject.com, where you can also get purchase copies of Big Words You Ought to Know. This is a book on vocabulary words, which normally on a regular day I could say much easier, with more panache and less rambling, less stuttering as well. I do have a stuttering problem that I have overcome, but some days it overcomes me. You can get those books, and every time you buy one of those books, $1 goes to local reading programs here in Arkansas. There's that. Now, your affirmation for today, something to help you feel a little bit better to get off of whatever is kind of getting you down. I embrace the journey of becoming the best version of myself. And this affirmation boosts confidence and self-image. Regularly affirming that your commitment to personal growth reinforces self-belief, enhancing confidence and self-image, which are crucial for successful navigating life's challenges and reaching your goals. If you're not feeling like things aren't going so great, remember, you're on a journey. This is not a one-day trip. This is a long slog that will help you become the best version of yourself, which won't happen tomorrow, but you're working towards it. I embrace the journey of becoming the best version of myself. Our affirmation for today. Learn more about affirmations and get more affirmations from me by going to your Google machine and going to whatever online bookstore you like to frequent. Search 100 affirmations pain or click the link in this presentation for 100 daily affirmations for positivity and confidence by me, Jacob Payne. Because I'm multifaceted. I do a bunch of stuff. One thing I do is I celebrate, but this is one celebration that I'm going to sort of pass on. But you, feel free to get into it. Cinnamon Raisin Bread Day. I don't like raisins. I'm not allergic, just don't like them. So, this September 16th, you can celebrate on this one. I'm going to sit in the sidelines and just cheer you on National Cinnamon Raisin Bread Day. It warms the heart. It warms, the soul. Just not me, because I don't find delicious goodness in the raisin part. Cinnamon toast, lovely. The raisins, Raisin bread is something that's a very ubiquitous, a very simple thing, very things that's noted all across the nation. Raisin bread is simple to make. You toast it up, you eat a piece of it, you slice it up, and you go with it. Homemade with apple butter, cream cheese, or sliced pears, bring this baked good a new level of goodness, except if you're not a fan of raisins. So if you're a fan of raisins or just okay with them, just, raisin, neutral, so Cinnamon Raisin Bread Day is your day today. Celebrate that one with gusto, with panache. Just know that I'm cheering you on from the sidelines because I just don't do raisins. We ask you to take some time to, even though this was kind of a roughish edition of this one, like, share, and subscribe to the video and give us what you can to help us grow this thing. The Conversation Project is about conversations, things that are newsworthy, but it was supposed to be, my thought process was more the funny stories or the birthdays and days in history would be the thing that would draw off that because they are universal and there's less fighting about it. Basically, last week we fought a lot about Candace Owens and being called a Zionist, which has nothing to do with what's doing here, but maybe that's your thing. We want you to like, share, and subscribe to this particular piece of art. Like it because people need to see that it has some likes. Share it with folks so people know that it's worthy of talking about and getting to. And if someone liked it and you saw this, or they shared it with you and you enjoyed it, subscribe for more so you don't miss out on more of this stuff. And of course, the more serious stuff, the more produced stuff, like things you might not have heard, and the weekly roundup, things on those levels. Today has been Monday, September the 16th, 2024, and this is an edition of Things You Might Ought to Know. That is all wrapped up and done. Remind you that life is great even when life doesn't seem that great, so make sure you are living your life to the fullest because even when it doesn't feel so full, life itself is kind of awesome. Love you, mean it. More stuff like birthdays and history lessons and big old words happening tomorrow for Tuesday with another edition of Things You Might Ought to Know coming tomorrow.